Hello, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Misses. I'm your host, Morgan F. And today I just wanted to come on for a little quick, shorter podcast and chat with you about some of the things that have really been beneficial to me as we're rounding out this year. I have really considered this year to be a year of growth, reflection, and stretch. And it doesn't come without being intentional. And I feel like it's very trendy to say, oh, manifesting, but I definitely feel like I've spoke a lot of things into existence. And I'm snagging at my phone because there's some things I want to make sure I capture while I'm talking through this. As I started this year coming in, knowing that prayerfully I was going to be able to give birth to a child, I was thinking about my words: elevate, expand, evolve. And that has resonated and stuck with me. And now, as we round into the end of this year, I'm not sure what my word or words will be for this year, but I wanted to share with you a few things that I think would benefit you as you're walking into 2025, which just makes me feel old because I'm gonna be 35 this year, and that's kind of like my scary year. Like, I don't know why 35 is just like for me, but I'm grateful for every year that I am having on this earth. The One of the things that has really benefited me was planning out my vision, be it through a vision board. And so, end of last year, I got together with a couple of people and I had a vision board party. I don't know if I'll do that this year in a party setting, but I for sure will be making a vision board. And my vision board was pretty tight, succinct. And it really focused on three areas, as I mentioned, those three words: expand, elevate, evolve, right? Expand, elevate, evolve. Yeah, that's right. Or is it exist, elevate, evolve? Exist, elevate, evolve. It's too many E's. And I just used those words as content pillars or building blocks to be able to visualize how I wanted to move throughout the year. And I think that a vision board does not have to be you're cutting out things from the magazine and sticking it on a poster board. But if that hits you in the right spots, by all means. For me, I created my vision board on Canva because I'm that girly. And I really benefited from seeing it on my phone whenever I wanted to, or printing it out in a smaller format where I could put it in my planner and really being able to go back and it wasn't such an overbearing image that I had to pull it out in a certain way. But I did. Oh yeah, it's right over there. But I did have it in a position where you could see it, and I'll probably show you in a minute here because I'm looking at it right there. So if you're thinking, okay, yeah, vision board, but like, how, why, what? I would recommend incorporating a little bit of AI, artificial intelligence, to kind of get you started on this. I have used prompts in the past that really help me generate something to facilitate the brainstorming. Whatever your AI platform that you may like, you can just start with saying, hey, can you help me visualize a vision board for 2025 or visualize my vision for 2025, and continue to ask it, can you ask me a series of 5 or 10 questions that'll help me visualize my vision board? And then move forward to having them ask you those questions one by one and giving you prompts. And I can include this in the show notes as well. I'm giving you prompts. After you've answered those questions, you say, can you summarize what we've talked about? And if you want to stop there, you can stop there. And you don't need it to spit you out a visual component of what you spoke about in your conversation. But if you want to take it the extra mile, you for sure can. Um, you can probably even ask it, what are some key trends you see within, my goals, or whatever the case may be. That may be very beneficial for someone that's visual, but not super well, that's not super creative, but is just having that bit of brainstorming to get their mind going, get their juices going. I mean, use technology to the umpteenth of it, right? So, in in combination with vision board planning and just thinking about what you want to do, you can move your vision into an action plan. And even if it's a quarterly check-in with a friend or your partner, I feel like that's beneficial to know, okay, I said I'm interested in maybe getting another job, but maybe I'll start with getting a certification, or maybe I'll try to talk to someone about cleaning up my resume, or whatever case the steps may be for you and your industry, whatever the case may be. But having those tactical, practical plans, steps to get you towards the goal are way more beneficial than you just saying, I want to land a new job. Be really be really particular, be really intentional with your goals, be really intentional with how you're setting them. And I feel like that's where you're being able to achieve more in a year. Next up, I think something that's really helped me this year is journaling. I found some prompts, I don't know where. And so I've been using said prompts because I'm not just like, oh, think about your day and what a day. I'm not that girl, but I am the type of person that's like, yes, I can focus in on these thoughts and this prompt and these questions that you're asking me. I know I'm an Apple user, and a lot of times it'll say, they can tell I visited a place. They're like, reflect on your visit at blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so then I can do that. Or it might be based on a picture that they're pulling this information. I don't know. But journaling once or twice or every day, if you can muster it up, is really helpful for you to be able to reflect on what's going on, find a moment of calm to really recenter yourself, and keep a diary, a collection or so of what's happened. So when you look back at the previous year, you're like, oh wow, I did this, I did that. This is how I was feeling. This is how I've grown from that situation. I think those are all really beneficial for you. Another thing that was really helping me is just surround myself with like-minded people. And with so much going on, where you just so much conflicting opinions about stuff, I feel like it is beneficial to stretch yourself and hear someone that's not from the same background as you. But if it's not beneficial to, and it's going to continue to upset you or cause a tizzy or tiff or whatever, just make you feel very uncomfortable, I think it's important to be around like-minded people, whether it be people of faith or people that are in your same circumstance, whether it be new moms or like people who are in a certain, like a position, like all a bunch of nurses are together, or doctors or marketers or whatever the case may be. Being around like-minded people can give you a sense of, not even normalcy, it can give you a sense of familiarity, as well as camaraderie. And that just overall moves the experience that you may be having. Because a lot of times I feel like, whether it be work or, motherhood or marriage, you can feel like you're just tunneled in a certain situation. But when you see other people are also having these same sorts of experiences, it really makes you not feel as alone. And then you can continue to build on your friendships and build on your connections within that circle, right? And so that's really been beneficial for me, just being in my particular case, mommy groups, and seeing, oh, okay, like, oh, you go through that too. Oh, you've experienced that too. Oh, it's not just me. Okay, okay. And then having a giggle about it. And now it's an internal joke and it's great. I want that for you. Rounding out with a couple more tips, not sweating the small things. And I don't know if it's just being tired and not caring as much anymore, but I'm there. There's, I often think, I eat popcorn a lot, and I often think about that kernel and the back of my tooth. You know what I'm saying? That just drives you so crazy. Or you get a hangnail, and said hangnail is so small and minute, but it is pissing you off because it hurts. Can't get the kernel out. You don't have a clipper at the moment, and you just need a, that small thing should not be a big thing. And if it's small, it should be non-existent to you. Letting the small things get you that riled up is not serving you. I promise you it's not. So leave that in the previous year whenever this content meets you. Leave that in the previous year, leave it behind you, leave it yes, and leave it in today, and don't worry about it tomorrow, because it's not serving you. And I'm learning that, and I feel like as a new mommy, I didn't have the capacity to care. I was like, well, that's, I don't care. And I am grateful for that energy. I'm grateful for that growth because the small things are small for a reason. And it should stay that way. Lastly, offer yourself so much grace. I've been offering myself so much grace in this 2024 because a lot of things I didn't know. Everything I was experiencing was very new to me. Having a child, nursing, going back to work, just all the things. Like it was all very new. And a lot of newness can be exciting, but also new things are challenging because it's out of your norm and it's not something you're comfortable with. It's out of your norm, it's out of your comfortability. It's uncharted territory, and that can be very scary. But you don't know what you don't know, and you won't know what you don't know. So allow yourself the grace to figure it out. And not only allow yourself the grace to figure it out, but don't be afraid to ask for help. I've said this in a previous podcast. I'm in my I need assistance era because I am. As if I don't know. Google's going to be my friend, or I'm going to find the person that knows the thing so that I'm not in this situation anymore, right? I'm going to figure it out, or somebody can help me figure the thing out because I don't need to struggle. We don't need to struggle. There's someone you know, or there's someone you can find that can help you with what your situation is. Whether that's why you listen to this podcast or whatever the case may be, there are resources out there that can benefit you. And I want you to give yourself the grace to slow down and seek them. And so, on that note, dear friend, dear listener, dear viewer, I just want to thank you so much for listening and rocking out with this season thus far. And I can't wait for what's in store in 2025 for myself personally and for this podcast. If you gained value from this content, please make sure if you're on something that you can share this with, please share. If you're on something that you can rate this with, please rate. And if you're on something that you can comment on, I love to hear comment. Hey, go Morgan, you got this. It's Morgane, Morgan with the E. Okay. I thank you so much for listening or viewing. And until next time, and honestly, until next year.